Here we go again. I have to say my daffodils are looking a little lifeless. I think the daffodils are starting to shrivel up. They look a little bit droopy. I know the feeling. Here we go then, yes. Welcome once again. We are now live from the birthplace of the English language. This is English Addict. It really is, honestly. I'm not joking. Look out the window now. You can see me. There I am waving to you. Can you see me? I hope so. Here we are then. Yes, it is another live stream. I want to say that the weather is good, but unfortunately today the weather can't make up its mind. It can't decide whether to be sunny or cloudy. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I really hope you are feeling good today. Yes, it is myself, Mr. Duncan, here with you today. I hope you are having a good day. I really do. Do you like this? This is my big hand. You might give someone a big hand as a way of showing your appreciation. By that, I mean applause. If you give applause, you clap your hands. You give a big hand. Of course, there is another phrase we can use. You can know something like the back of your hand. Something you are very familiar with. We can say that you know it like the back of your hand. We will be seeing more of this later on. So I hope you're feeling good today. Yes, my name is Duncan and yours isn't. And we are now here live from the birthplace of the English language. This is where it all started. 1,000 years ago, someone was walking down the road and they said, I know what? I'm going to make a new language and I'm going to call it English, and I will steal all the best bits from the other languages and I will create my new language and I will call it English. And here we are today, enjoying it right now across the World Wide webinar. It is myself, Mr. Duncan. I talk about English, by the way, if you are wondering what I do here, besides looking absolutely gorgeous. I also talk about the English language as well. I hope you are feeling good today. Yes, we have made it all the way to the end of another week and also the end of another weekend. Don't forget, there is something special happening this month. More about that in a few moments' time. Yes, it's Sunday. Okay, Duncan, that's enough. No more of that. Yes, I hope you are feeling good on this Sunday. We have weather. Yes, we do have weather. Not great weather. It is very cold again. I don't know what happened last week, but we had glorious weather. We had loads of sunshine, and then suddenly everything went back to how it was. In fact, we had some snow last week. Would you like to have a look at the snow? Here it is, somewhere, if I can find it. Here is the snow that was on some of the local mountains in the area where I happen to live. And there you can see, now this, believe it or not, this was taken from the window at the top of my stairs in the house. And you can see a large mountain. This is a famous mountain in this area called Caer Caradoc. And it is over towards a place called Church Stretton, which is a place I've been to many times. In fact, I think I've showed you this place as well. So there you can see the snow that fell 3 days ago. We had the snow. And there you can see another view looking out towards the Long Mynd. So that mountain, that hilly area that you can see is called the Long Mynd. It is a huge area where you can go walking, you can stroll, you can enjoy all of the beautiful sights of the area. Although, I have to be honest, it isn't a very nice place to go during the winter. It can be a little, just a little, unpleasant if you go up the Long Mynd during the winter. Oh, we also had a visitor in the garden this week. I do like to show you the wildlife. We have a lot of animal lovers here today. And here is, oh, look at this. And there it was again in the garden this week, the little bunny rabbit running around, eating the grass. Mr. Steve does not mind because it helps him to keep the garden looking neat and tidy. Hello there. If you've just clicked on my face, hello everybody, hello to you. Wherever you are watching in the world, it is nice to see you here today. It is not a hare, it is actually a rabbit, a little rabbit, a regular viewer. Yes, it's true. Did you know that that rabbit actually watches my live stream through the window of my studio? It does, honestly. Hello to the live chat. Of course, it would not be the live stream without you on the live chat. Hello to you as well. Oh, we have a very interesting competition taking place today here on the live chat. We have a lot of people who arrived at the same time. And this is something I'm doing now to be fair to those who arrive at the same time as other people. So if you are first today, that means you arrived at the same time as the first people on the live chat. So congratulations, Valentin. Thank you, Valentin, Vitas, Maria, also Zadzika. We also have Nelly and Willian. Guess what? You are all first on today's live chat. A round of applause for everyone. Yes, congratulations to those who were first on today's live chat. It is a rather nice day. It is looking colourful outside, can I just say? It is looking rather nice outside. It's not sunny, but you can see there is a little bit of blue sky. The blue sky is trying to break through. Although it is freezing cold outside at the moment. It's not very warm at all. It is around 6, maybe 5 or 6 degrees Celsius today. It's not very warm at all. And if you take a close look behind me, you will notice, can you see down there, there is a little bit of yellow in the distance. And yes, you can already see that some of the farmers' crops are now starting to grow. So that there, the yellow that you can see on the screen there, is actually rapeseed coming through already. So because we had a few days of warm weather last week, a lot of the crop and a lot of the flowers have all suddenly come out. They've come into bloom very, very quickly, in fact. Can I say hello to Francesco, Sandra, also 100 DOB. Also we have Yus Sama, who says, Ramadan Mubarak, everyone. Yes, it is Ramadan for those who are celebrating that season. I hope you have a super duper time, and of course I hope you have lots of food after you've finished your fasting, of course. Hello also to Gulu. We also have math and physics here today, and we also have, who else is here today? Oh, we have Saturino. Hello, Saturino. We also have Dave. Hello, Dave. Dave Noog. I hope I pronounced your name right. We have some photographs to show you as well. So many things to get through. I haven't even told you what we're talking about today. We are talking about an interesting subject. Some people might say that it is a subject that is very topical. And I would say that, yes, maybe it is a little bit topical. Today, we are talking all about the word slap. Ow! That is what we are talking about today. The word is slap. And that's what we're looking at today. That's the reason why I have my big hand, you see, just in case I have to do some slapping of my own. You never know, you see. I might have to get my big hand if someone is misbehaving or being naughty. I might have to give you a slap as well. We will see what happens. Hello also to Inaki. Where is Lewis? I haven't seen Lewis today. Has anyone seen Lewis Mendez? Hello, Olga. Nice to see you here as well. Lots of people joining in with the live chat today. Yes, we are live. And don't forget, everyone is welcome. Gulu says in India we are celebrating the Navratri or Navratri festival. Yes, a lot of festivals taking place. And of course, this month there is also Easter coming up as well. So a lot of people celebrating all sorts of festivals during the month of April. Quite a busy month, in fact, you might say. We do have Steve here today. Mr. Steve will be coming up for those wondering where he is. He will be here in around 12 minutes from now. Photographs. Yes, I have some lovely photographs sent to me during the week. And can I say hello to Claudia? Hello, Claudia. Claudia has sent me a very interesting photograph of her dog. But this is no ordinary dog. This is a dog, apparently, that has lots of different names. So everyone in Claudia's family give this dog its own name. And to help us along with this story, Claudia has actually explained what happened. Mr. Duncan, talking about pets, here is my dog. It was a present for my mother. My niece called him Jared, but then decided to call him Norberto. My mother called him Chiquito, and that means little. My father called him Bico, and that means bug. I call him Perro or Perito. That means dog or little dog. That's all today. Ta-ta for now, Mr. Duncan. Thank you, Claudia. And thank you also for the photograph of your dog, who apparently is called Jared, Norberto, Chiquito, Bico, Perro, Perito, or as I like to say, the little dog. Thank you very much for that. And also, thank you for the photograph of your new computer. And look who it is. Claudia, I can see that you are watching one of our live streams on your new computer. Very nice. But all I can say is I don't think that photograph makes me look very good. Mr. Steve looks lovely, but I look terrible. I don't know why. I don't look very good in that photograph. I look like I'm falling asleep. Thank you, Claudia, for your photos. We also have some other photographs to look at as well. And we have a lovely email as well sent in during the week. Hello to Marja or Marja. I think it's actually Marja. Marja. I don't want to hide, so I will introduce myself, Mr. Duncan. I'm a 58-year-old woman from the north of Finland. I have watched your channel since COVID-19 started. I know I have a lot of new viewers that joined me during the lockdown around the world. I really enjoy your company. Thank you very much. Thank you, Merja or Merja. Thank you very much. Very nice. Do we have any more photographs? Oh, yes, I do. I'd have another photograph from Luis. Or should I say Luis Mendez has sent a photograph looking out of the window towards... Oh, I can see that you have some lovely blossom on the tree outside your window. All I can say is I'm jealous because you have a very nice view of the cherry blossom right outside. You don't even have to go outside to see it. Very lovely, in fact. Can I also say hello to all those watching in Japan, because today is a special day for those in Japan. Today in Tokyo, it is Peak Hanami, the annual ritual of cherry blossom viewing. The flowers reach full bloom in Tokyo on Sunday, which is today. 4 days earlier than average, but 5 days later than last year. And the reason for this is apparently it's all relating to the temperature. So as soon as the temperature changes, whether it becomes warmer or cooler, it depends on how fast the cherry blossom actually comes out. So as I understand it, the warm weather will bring out the cherry blossom, and then the cold weather will delay the cherry blossoms coming out. So I think that's the reason why. They are very sensitive to the environment and the temperature. So whether or not it is warm or cold will decide how quickly they come out. Here's an interesting question that I want to ask today as well, because I like to ask questions. It's not all about videos and rabbits and snow-capped mountains. There are other things to talk about as well. I was looking at my computer this morning, the computer that I built myself. Oh, fancy pants. And I was looking at some of my programs that I have running. So when I talk about programs, I mean the things that help you to do all of those necessary jobs, like typing and writing and saving things, video editing. So inside my computer, I have lots of different types of software. And I was wondering what the oldest software is that you have. There are people nowadays still, can you believe it? There are still people running Windows XP. That was around many years ago, but there are some people still running the Windows operating system, the XP version, which was around in the late 1990s, I think. I remember XP. I always thought that that was a very good version of the operating system. But I also noticed this morning that I still have the old version of Microsoft Office Word. And my version is from 2007. And it still works perfectly. It still works very smoothly, in fact. So what is the oldest software that you are using? Maybe you are using an old operating system in your computer. Maybe something you haven't used for a long time, but you still have it inside your computer. So is there something, maybe a piece of software? For example, I have Microsoft Office Word 2007. I still have it and I still use it. And it works perfectly. But what about you? Do you have some software, maybe your operating system? Of course, there were many versions of Windows, the operating system, which I believe is still the most popular operating system. So PCs, laptops, many people still use the old versions of those operating systems. Some people still use Windows XP, as I said, and also Windows Vista. Windows Vista, I think, was my favourite one. I always loved Windows Vista. Am I pronouncing it right? Windows Vista. I love that one. Oh, Raphael says, I run Windows 7 on my PC. Oh, yes, of course. Windows 7 was also very popular. In fact, there are many people still running Windows 7 on their computers, even though these days, as I understand it, you can't get any updates. And of course, now we have Windows 11, which many people have found that they can't use, or they are not able to update because their computer is not powerful enough. Isn't that strange? So what Windows have done, they've made their operating system much better and more powerful. But the only problem is most computers that people have nowadays are not powerful enough to actually run Windows 11 on them, which I find rather strange. So I think for the time being, I am going to continue using Windows 10. So that's what I use. For those wondering, I use Windows 10 Professional on my computer to operate everything. I owned MS Office 2000 at that time. Yes, I think that is also quite an old version. 2000, that's going back quite a long way, isn't it? Sandra says, my PC is made by Dell. Do you remember when Dell used to be everywhere? They used to be one of the biggest sellers of PCs many years ago. Who remembers Dell? But I think these days not many people even know that Dell still exists. But yes, you are right. Very good computers is what they made. They were actually very good. My computer is from 2011, says Sandra, and it is running Windows 7. Us Sama says Windows 11 sucks. Yes, it is forcing people to buy a new computer. Thank you for saying that, because I think you're right. I don't agree when a new operating system comes along and lots of people are forced to buy a new computer. I don't quite agree with that. I think that is very naughty, in fact, to do that. Willian says my personal laptop is a Positivo. It is a Brazilian computer industry, or it is a Brazilian computer product. And the software that I'm running is Windows 10. Yes, a lot of people would appear to be enjoying Windows 10 nowadays, including myself. I think it is probably the best operating system that I've used for many years. It works very well with all of the things that I run in my computer. So yes, I do like Windows 10. I think it works very well. Olga says, I have Dell monitors. Yes, I used to get correspondence all the time from Dell computers. Although over the years I think they've had difficulty keeping up with the market. I think that's one of the reasons why, you see. I think it is. Mr. Steve is going to be with us in a few moments, and well, we will be talking about words, phrases connected to the word slap. That's what we are doing today. However, before Mr. Steve arrives, we are going to have a look at one of my English lessons. This is an excerpt taken from one of my full English lessons, and this is actually full English number 6. And then after this, he will be here in the studio live. Almost. It's Mr. Steve. He's on his way. There are words in English that have been formed by joining one or more separate words together. These are called compound words. To compound is to push and mix more than one thing together, to form something new. A compound word is the result of joining two or more words together. Many other languages besides English have compound words in them. There are many compound words in English. Commonly used compound words include inside, upon, into, because, another, cannot, without. A noun can perfectly describe the use of something as a compound word. Doghouse, birdcage, fishbowl, towboat, dishcloth, worktop, screwdriver. A compound word can be formed by using more than two words. Examples include insomuch, notwithstanding, counterclockwise, plainclothesman, aforementioned, henceforth, nevertheless. It would be fair to say that compound words are commonplace in English. You might even say that they are everywhere. You may have noticed that many words in English have more than one meaning or use. A good example of this is the word sense. At first glance, this seems like a simple, basic word, but in fact, sense has many connotations. We can make sense of something, which means to understand it. We can sense that something is wrong, which means to feel or perceive an approaching danger or event. We can be senseless or do something senseless. This means that the action has no motive or justification. A senseless act is an action that is irrational and unreasonable. To say that something makes no sense is to express bewilderment and confusion. None of this makes any sense to me. Then, of course, we can express the opposite and say that something makes perfect sense. That action is justified. It all makes perfect sense to me. Can you see what I'm playing with here? These are foxes. Well, in fact, they are just models, but I really like the way they have been made. The person who made them has really captured their character. Can you see what I'm carrying here? I have an armful of logs. These are for the wood burner in my house. I burn these logs in a log burner. The word log can be used in many ways. As a verb, it means to record the details of something, normally in writing. You write down the details of something. You log it. A journal can be described as a log. To chop down trees on a large scale and then sell the wood is logging. To sign in or enter your password on a computer is to log in or log on. Then there is the noun that describes the pieces of wood that have been chopped up. A single log, a log pile, or an armful of logs, all ready to go on the log burner, so as to keep me nice and warm during this cold spell. If you are a regular viewer, then you will know that I love food. Can you guess what my most favourite snack is? The thing I like to nibble on the most? The one food I often get a craving for? Okay, I will tell you. My most favourite snack is cheese. Yes, it is true. I love to nibble on cheese. There are many reasons why I love cheese. Firstly, there are so many varieties, so many flavours of cheese, from mild to extra mature. Cheeses can vary in shape and colour too. Some are round and white, while others can be square and red. Some cheeses have a strong odour. Cheese is made from the milk of a cow or goat. Each type of cheese has its own name. This name normally relates to where it was originally produced. For example, cheddar cheese was first made in Cheddar, Somerset, which is in the UK. Red Leicester cheese was first made in Leicestershire and is red in colour. One of the smelliest cheeses must be the variety known as Stinking Bishop. This cheese is also produced here in the UK, in the county of Gloucestershire. Each country has its own famous cheese. France has its Camembert cheese. Greece has its feta cheese, which is made from goat's milk. Italy has its Parmesan cheese, which is normally grated and sprinkled onto pasta. Or you could try some mozzarella cheese, which is used to make pizza topping. There are many hundreds of varieties of cheese around the world, all of which I would love to try. But sadly, I cannot, as I would put on weight and get very, very fat. When people take photographs of their friends and family, they normally ask the subjects to say cheese, as it encourages everyone being photographed to smile. Cheese! I must say, all this talk of cheese is making me feel quite hungry. There it was, one of my many YouTube video lessons. And there are quite a few now that you can watch because I've been doing this for ever such a long time, over 15 years. Can you believe it? Well, I can't. Here he is. Here he comes.
Hello. Hello, Mr. Duncan. Hello, wonderful viewers across the globe. Hope you're having a lovely time today with Mr. Duncan, and I hope it gets even better now I'm here.
Yes.
What an ego.
All I can say is I think the quality of this show will improve a lot now you're here.
I doubt that, Mr. Duncan, but you never know. I've been out in the garden. It's lovely weather, Mr. Duncan.
Okay.
I've been out there working hard, physically building up my muscles, while you've been here sitting down, sort of typing away and preparing things for today's lesson.
Oh, fascinating.
And I think it's quite an interesting one today, isn't it? Very topical.
Yes.
Very topical.
It is very topical today.
Yes.
Because today we are talking about the word slap. And apparently a lot of people are very interested in this word at the moment for various reasons.
Yes.
So that's the reason why I have my big hand, just in case I have to slap somebody. Maybe someone will insult Mr. Steve about his hair. I will have to march over and I will have to give you a good slap.
Well, maybe I'll insult you, Mr. Duncan.
Oh, I see.
And you'll have to slap me. But where would you slap me? This is the question.
You mean like this? Ow! Like that?
Well, that didn't look like a certain film star that...
What? What are you talking about?
I'm referring to the incident.
Yes, that wasn't. That was a reenactment.
That was a reenactment.
Yeah, so just very quickly again. Ow! That's what happened.
Well, we don't want any slapping here.
No.
Tomek wants to be slapped.
Oh,
well, that's not surprising, really. We're joking, of course.
We will be getting deep, very deep into that later.
Thank you for the compliments on my shirt. I have worn this before many times.
Yeah, many times.
But it's still nice to get compliments.
Do you have any other shirts? I'm starting to think you only have...
I'm running out. Running out.
You only have 3 shirts.
Oh, right. Usama says, I always slap my friend.
Oh.
I think it's cultural. You can probably get away with it in certain countries and certain cultures. I don't know.
No, I don't know either, so best not to say that. Well, hello also. Can I say hello to Angelo Lopez, who says, I am studying English in London. London is fantastic.
Wow.
It is. It's a busy place. Lots of people, lots of noise, lots of places to go to, lots of beautiful places and also places to have a good time. You might even be able to find somewhere to get slapped as much as you want.
Well, it could become the new thing. If anybody insults somebody in your family, maybe your spouse or your partner, maybe that's going to be the thing everybody does now.
Okay,
they
Steve.
Get up and they slap the person that said that.
So there is Mr. Steve encouraging. Let me just... You have to stop, Steve. Do I have to keep explaining this?
Well, I don't think I'd actually finished, so you interrupted me.
Yes, but I never know when you're going to finish. That's the problem. So there is Steve encouraging domestic violence, not me. I am against slapping unless it is consensual.
Well, the Prince of Bel-Air has been banned from the Oscar. Well, I think he resigned, but I think he was going to be pushed or something. But yeah. So, I mean, what's so incredible is that's all people are talking about. I mean, there's so much going on in the world. and yet it has consumed the media for the last 2 or 3 days. Oh, Will Smith slapped her. That's all people have been, as though that was the most important thing that's going on in the world.
Yes.
The Oscars is just fantasy world for a few rich celebrities who are living in this little bubble that is not reality in any way, shape or form. And somehow it takes over the whole of the media, which is ridiculous, really, isn't it?
It's what we call a happening. No, that's what it's actually called. Many years ago, there's a very famous happening that happened, and a happening is when something quite spectacular or unexpected occurs, and lots of people witness it, and that's what we call a happening. Many years ago, there was a program, I think it was called Fridays. Very famously, there was a huge fight that broke out during a sketch between, I think it was Andy Kaufman and Michael Richards from Seinfeld. And they got into a fight during a live sketch. And I think it was a show called Fridays. And they described that as a happening. So something that happens spontaneously or live in front of many people is a happening, and that's what it was. And I think that's the reason why it captured the imaginations of so many people, because it was unusual. Also the fact that this year they were saying that no one is going to watch the Oscars. so maybe in a strange way that the slap actually has probably helped more people watch and become more interested in the Oscar ceremony. And of course, we have the Grammys coming up. No one cares, by the way, about these award ceremonies. No one actually cares about them.
Only the people. See, this is the trouble now. That society now is obsessed with celebrity and, what rich people are doing, what the stars are doing, because it's fantasy world. It's not reality. And we put these people on pedestals and we follow them, every move they make, and their ego gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And we should just forget about it all and just get on with our lives.
So what about Shirley Bassey?
Oh, well, yeah, I couldn't say anything bad about Shirley Bassey.
But isn't she the type of person you've just literally talked about? A person whose ego is large. And
they are. This is the problem.
Yes.
Yeah, they are. All these celebrities have massive egos because they're paid vast sums of money. Some of them have got talent. Others don't have very much talent. I mean, they've all got, but I mean, it's, we pay too much attention to what is a fantasy world. That's my opinion. Films are a fantasy world. I mean, they're nice for entertainment. It's like football. Here we go, touching on a subject here. Sports players who get paid huge amounts of money to kick footballs around.
How is football like films?
Well, it's celebrity. It's celebrity, isn't it? I mean, maybe it won't happen so much now in the UK. I mean, without these sort of rich oligarchs financing British football clubs, maybe, these players won't get paid so much.
I'm already aware that you are straying into an area you know nothing about.
Football. Well, thanks, Mr. Duncan. I think right, that's it. I'm slapping you, Mr. Duncan. Of course, if you slap on both cheeks, wasn't that traditionally a sort of, if you go up to somebody with a glove and slap them on both cheeks, that means you want a duel.
Yes, it's a challenge.
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge.
Yes.
You're challenging someone. I don't think we do it nowadays because we don't have duels anymore. I don't think anyone duels anymore. It's sunrise. We're not standing there in the morning dew with our flintlocks in our hands.
Yes, lots of comments going on here.
Oh, good.
Yes. You would. Yeah.
Oh, yes. That's a good one. That one.
Yeah. No, I was just lots of comments. Yeah, I think most people are in agreement with what we are basically saying. But the thing is, most people's lives are very humdrum. So we like to. I still never quite figured out why people follow stars so much and actors and actresses, and I think it's just because it's a fantasy, and you know, we think we want to be part of that. Our lives are so boring and humdrum.
No, they're not.
Well, I think that, compared to what we think
No, it's okay,
the
Steve.
stars are. You're arguing with Mr. Duncan, as usual.
You're depressing me.
Not depressing you. Our life, well, your life isn't boring. You're here, you know. And neither are the people watching us, because they're all wonderful people for watching.
Great.
Maybe. Do you think we're the stars then? That people come to view?
We are definitely not stars in any universe.
I don't have an ego. It doesn't exist. You, on the other hand, your head gets bigger and bigger every day.
I am the most down-to-earth, humble, shy person that exists beside Steve. I think Steve is even more humble, sometimes too humble. You can be too modest in this world. I think Will Smith is the absolute opposite of us. Completely the opposite.
Well,
and as you know, I'm not
bubble.
Can I just say, by the way, I'm not a fan of Will Smith. I never have been, and I've said it many times, and lots of people have accused me of being prejudiced. But I just don't like him. I just don't like his movies, and I don't like him. That's it. And I feel now as if all of those comments from the past have been justified. So thank you very much for that. And it's nothing to do with his race, please, because I hate James Corden as well. And he's not black. He's just very, very large and not black. But I don't like him either. So you see, you could always be accused of something.
That's the trouble. Yeah. Anyway, right, we're going to be delving into very controversial subjects.
No, we're not. That's not controversial.
Well, I feel as though I could get, do you know what I'm like?
Yeah.
I could get involved into a discussion with something that, and I then might end up saying something I could regret.
Yes.
Because you know what happens with me when my tongue runs away with me.
Well, that's why I keep cutting you off. That is, a lot of people ask, why do you keep picking on Steve? I don't pick on Steve. I just stop him before he says something.
But at least I now realise that there is the possibility that I could end up going down a rabbit hole.
Yes.
If you go down a rabbit hole, it means you're sort of out of control and going into areas that maybe you shouldn't do because you could make controversial comments, or the subject might be something you don't know very much about, and then people can accuse you of things later.
Okay.
But anyway, yes, let's change the subject.
I don't think it's a rabbit hole you go down. I think it's a black hole. I think you delve so deeply you go into another universe.
Talking of space, they found a star that is something like nearly 14 billion light years away.
Okay.
13 point something, which is the oldest star they've ever found.
13 point something?
Yeah, I think it's 13.6 billion light years away.
Okay.
Imagine that.
Is it
one of the first that ever existed after the Big Bang, assuming that ever existed.
Is that it?
Yeah, they're now questioning the Big Bang.
Oh, they?
Yes.
Why? What has it done?
Well, they're just sort of questioning it because, I mean, that they found this star that shouldn't be that old.
Oh.
But, you know, that's, I mean, what else are they going to find? Because, I mean, they thought the universe was about 13.5 billion years old, light years old, but now they're beginning to doubt it. But anyway, let's not get into that because I don't know enough about it.
Clearly. We have noticed, by the way, football and astrophysics. Two things that Steve...
I know more about astrophysics. I know nothing about football apart from all the players are overpaid.
Okay.
And the fans, the poor fans, have to pay for, although I can't believe how much they pay, the fans, for tickets to go and watch football matches.
They pay the fans to see it.
No, how much the fans pay to go and see football matches now. And they're paying for these players to be paid something like £1 million a week or something, or whatever they're paid.
Only one or two. Only one or two earn that.
Well, all the ones in the Premier League and all that, they're all earning huge sums of money.
Most top league football players only earn around three or 400,000 a month.
Oh, so that's
nothing. They can't afford a Bentley They can't have their gold bathtubs.
Bentley wouldn't exist. That company wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Premier footballers. It was literally created or reborn just to make cars for rich footballers and their wives.
I can't understand what you're saying because you're laughing.
Anyway, we are, you know, I can feel myself. I can feel a rant. I'm allowed a rant every week, aren't I?
No.
You say I'm allowed 1 minute rant every week.
I think you've gone on for far more than 1 minute. In more than 1 minute today.
So what are we talking about?
Well, I've already told you.
I'm just giving you the opportunity to repeat it to people who may have just joined us. A few people are joining, as you see, as we speak.
Today we are talking about slapping. Slap. Words and phrases connected to slap. We were talking about computer programs earlier and software, and lots of people were mentioning their operating systems. And I use Windows 10 Professional, which now... What?
Nothing. Go on.
Well, you went, oh.
I know.
Well, why? I don't understand. I think most of the planet uses Windows 10.
Look, I've got black fingers from fiddling with this pen under the desk.
Okay.
Yes, well...
It's all right. I'm on my own tomorrow, by the way. Oh, tomorrow. I'm back with you tomorrow because I'm doing 25 live streams during the month of April. 25. So I'm with you tomorrow as well from 2 p.m. UK time. But it will just be me. Steve won't be here.
What a shame.
So it will make more sense.
You might get a few viewers. Rosa says that she's put... I noticed earlier, hello Rosa, that she's put Windows 11 on and it sucks.
Yes.
She does not like Windows 11.
Windows 11, there is a big problem with Windows 11. It doesn't work on most computers that exist. You have to go out and buy a new computer if you want to run Windows 11.
Yes, she said. I think she was saying it slowed everything up.
Yes, because it's too powerful. So it's just a way. I believe that this is just a very cynical way of getting everyone to buy a new computer. I think so.
I keep being prompted to upgrade to Windows 11.
Yes, but you have to test your computer first to see if it will run. And most computers won't run Windows 11. It's crazy. This is the world we're living in now. It's all upside down.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
So if something's working, why change? On the other hand, some people like Nora, for example, Nora, likes the new versions of everything. And you're a bit like that. Whereas I tend to find something that works and then I never change it for ages, like cars.
Well, there are certain things you have to do with computer programs. You do have to update them, or else they stop working on your computer. So that is one of the other things you have to bear in mind. With certain things, they do have to be updated and upgraded, or else they won't function on your computer. So that is very important.
Sandra says, Mr. Steve, what is your recommendation for a PC? Well, look, he's laughing.
Don't ask. Yes.
He's laughing because he knows I know virtually nothing about computers. And it's true. So I would not be the person to ask. Although, like Palmyra, I have a Lenovo laptop.
Chinese, by the way. That's a Chinese company.
Yes, I know. I'm probably being hacked into
yes.
All the time.
A lot of people don't realise, though, Lenovo is actually a Chinese company. When I was living in China, there were Lenovo computers everywhere, but nowhere else in the world. But then they bought IBM. And now IBM computers are made as Lenovo.
I've never had any problems with it. It's very reliable.
Good.
So no complaints with that. Although if I had to upgrade it, I probably wouldn't buy some. I wouldn't, knowing what's going on around the world now, I would buy one that maybe is made in the UK or in America. Can you buy computers that are made in the UK?
No.
Or in Europe anywhere?
You cannot.
That's sad, isn't it?
They are mainly made in China or I think you can still get them made in Japan,
Oh.
and also Korea as well. I think there are some made in Korea. So mostly Asian countries, but you will find China is still the place that makes most electronics, although there are other countries, Taiwan as well, produces a lot of internal bits and pieces like motherboards. The motherboard in this computer is actually made in Taiwan.
Buy things from countries that are your allies is going to be my rule of thumb. And at least then, you'll probably be a little bit safer. I don't know.
Not much safer.
Probably not from your own government. Yes, made in China, the 3 most popular words around the world, says Palmyra.
I think so.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it is. I mean, literally, it's very difficult to get anything that isn't made in China.
Yes. But that is our fault. We made that happen by wanting cheap things. We want cheap things made cheaply. So everything now is made in China, so we can pay very little money. And you said earlier about buying things made in the UK. You asked me this morning when we were having a chat before the live stream, and you asked, is there anything made in the UK? And I said, no. I said, no components. Very few things are made for computers in the UK because they would be very expensive. Eye-wateringly, I can't say that, eye-wateringly expensive.
Yes, and one of the reasons I was reading recently as to why everything is made in China or abroad is because it makes people feel as though they're wealthier than they actually are. Because when goods are made in a country where they're cheaper to produce, it looks like your overall wealth. You still feel quite wealthy because you can buy something cheaper than you could do when it was made in your own country. But of course, what's really happening is that inflation is eating into your purchasing power over the years. But it appears that everything's all right. But I mean, so you could never make these products back in your own country. We could never make computers back in the UK.
Or anything.
Because the economy would collapse because no one could afford to buy these goods because the cost of producing them is so much more in our own country because we have to pay people so much in terms of wages.
See, I'm often accused of criticising other countries, but there is one country that I am always willing to criticise, and that's this one. We make nothing here anymore. We don't have any industry. We used to have steel industry. We used to have a coal industry.
Cars.
We used to have, well, we technically we still have a car industry. It's just everyone else's car industry from around the world. So they're built here, but we don't have British car manufacturing. It's all done on behalf of other people. So we don't make anything. If you ask me, what does England make and sell around the world, I would have absolutely no idea what it was. We just don't do anything. I think we provide service.
Yes, it's a service-led industry.
Yes, so a lot of the service industries, consulting, offices,
shop
work, restaurants. There are restaurants everywhere.
Yes, financial industries, that sort of thing.
Talking of food, we had something very nice yesterday, Steve, to eat, didn't we?
Yes.
We went into Much Wenlock yesterday and we had something rather nice to eat. Something a little sophisticated, I thought. We had, look at that. Oh, I want to eat that now.
It was nice.
I'm hungry. I'm very hungry, Steve. We had some tacos. Now, I know what you're going to say, Mr. Duncan. That is not English food. It is not. You're right. South America, I would say. South American food. You put a lot of lovely, delicious things into the middle of. It looks like a pita bread.
I think it's a pita bread with some black beans in there. Yes, it's probably sort of Mexican.
Yes.
Breakfast taco, it was called.
Ooh. And can I just say, it was absolutely gorgeous. Here's another view. Look at this. Steve.
Well, you get 3 of those for £6.
Yeah.
Whereas if you buy one cake, it costs you £3.20. So tell me what's better value: one little scone for £3 something, or 3 tacos for, I think it was £6.20. So goodbye cakes. They're somewhat overcharged for cakes, so I'm going to have these from now on.
That's it. Good.
And they're probably better for you as well.
So that's what we had yesterday. A vegetarian meal, by the way. No meat in that whatsoever. And here is one last look. I can almost smell that food.
They were nice. They're very good value for money.
They were delicious, I must be honest with you. So that's what we had for our Saturday lunch. Yesterday we had some delicious tacos.
Us Sama, thank you for your comments again, says R.I.P. to TVR. Yes, rest in peace. And I'm very impressed that you know about a British car company called TVR. I didn't know they had ceased trading. Have they stopped making cars? I used to be quite a fan of TVRs, but they always had a bit of a reputation of being not very reliable, and the bodies were made of plastic, not metal. So I always thought they were rather overpriced. They were nice cars, but they had lovely big V8 engines. But have they stopped producing them? In which case, that is quite sad. I mean, we've still got Morgan, but these are all small niche companies.
Yes.
Which very few people would buy. But in terms of mainstream car production, we've got nothing. Oh, whiskey from Scotland. Scots whiskey.
Yeah. Well, I did say England, but...
well, UK.
UK then. If we're talking about the UK, there are some things, but not many things. I remember, because we're very old, Mr. Steve and I, we're very old, we are ancient. Our birthdays are actually in Roman numerals. That's how old we are. I remember in the 1970s, British Leyland was a car company, British owned, and they made some of the worst cars ever. Would I be fair saying that?
They were poor quality. The company was besieged with problems with unions.
People were always
strikes.
They were always going on strike.
Unfortunately, I think it was state-owned, wasn't it, at one point?
Yeah.
But it suffered in a way, in a similar way to sort of how Renault suffered, sort of in the 80s and 90s, and Renault and Citroën, because state-funded companies tend to be very inefficient, and the cars don't tend to be particularly, as a result of that, reliability is something that always suffers. But that's gone, unfortunately.
Yes. So we don't really have any big industry anymore in this country, and that's my point. You see, that's my point. I don't know what we do anymore.
I don't know. Nobody can think of anything. No, everyone's racking their brains.
We're trying to work out what we actually do in this country, what we make.
What's the last thing that I bought that said "Made in the UK"?
I can't think of anything.
Is there anything?
It's a bit sad, isn't it?
Has anyone purchased anything from the UK that says "Made in the UK" on it?
Yes.
Please tell us, because we'd like to know what it is that we're actually... I see, if you're in Germany, then Germany manufactures loads of things. Cars, of course, but is that the thing everybody knows about. But they have a huge manufacturing base in Germany.
Yes.
But we don't here.
That's it. It's very interesting. We will have to try and find something. I will try and find something that we make here in England that is made here and exported around the world, because at the moment I can't think of anything.
There must be. There are companies. I think the small companies that make things aren't. Oh, what about JCB or JC? What about those? Do they make those here?
Well, they are made here, but as I understand it, they are also now built in China.
Right.
because they moved a lot of their production overseas, and I think it has gone to China.
JCB, so that's gone.
So JCB, they're those big yellow things that you often see digging holes in the road.
Yes. Oh, Victoria says, I've got a jacket which is English and it's indestructible. Good.
Oh,
Good
good.
to know. Please tell us the make because, mining and coal mines. Well, in Arky, yes, we used to mine lots of coal, but they were all closed down.
Yeah, we don't do it anymore.
I don't think we've got a single coal mine that's open anymore.
Do you want to hear something really funny? Here's something that is funny, but also sad at the same time. We used to have an amazing coal industry. We used to have mines all over the place, and we still have millions and millions of tons of coal beneath the ground here in the UK and in England. So I suppose I'm talking about England here. But
Oh, Wales, yeah.
but
Okay.
But what I'm going to say is we've slowly stopped using coal as a way of producing energy. Not only that, we have demolished, we have destroyed most of the power stations that produce the electricity. They've gone. And now we find ourselves in a very awkward position where energy where you get your energy from has become a little bit of a problem for certain reasons. Africa, apparently we might be getting our gas in the future from Africa. Can you believe it?
Well, you see, we stopped doing exploration in the North Sea because we've got lots of oil and gas out there. Well, we stopped all that because of this, rush to net zero in 2050 or whenever it is. So yes, everyone now in Europe is desperately seeking alternative ways of getting gas and energy in order to stop being reliant on Russia so much.
But my point was, we have no power stations now. So if we suddenly have no one to deliver our energy to this country, we can't even open our power stations because we've actually blown them up. We've demolished most
there was
of them.
one up the road. We had a coal-fired power station, and it was demolished.
Just very close to where we live, not far away.
Well, Germany closed a load of its nuclear reactors, and they didn't have to close them because of all this desperate rush for going for net zero carbon.
Yes.
Which is going to cost us all a fortune. We're all going to pay for that with our energy bills.
What I love is they keep pushing the date further and further back.
Yes.
It used to be 2025, and then it was 2030, and now it's 2050, and now they're talking about 2080.
Emilio Lopez says Jaguar cars are made in the UK. That is true, they are, but Jaguar is now owned by, I think it's Ford. It's not an independent company anymore.
No.
And all they're really producing is big, heavy SUVs.
Yes.
And don't get me started on that subject.
It's definitely the trend now to build the heaviest,
the bulkiest, ugliest car you can.
I don't know why. It seems to be a new contest between car manufacturers.
Well, I think maybe people will start switching away from SUVs because of the cost of fuel going up, and they use about 20% more fuel than an equivalent sort of hatchback that they're based on. Maybe people will, stop buying them. Probably not.
I think the dream of everyone driving around in electric cars before the end of the 2020s is not going to happen. I really don't think so. That's all we're saying about that anyway, Steve.
Yes. Rolls-Royce, says Abdul. Yes, well, again, Rolls-Royce is owned by, I think it's Volkswagen.
So it's German.
It's definitely owned by a German company.
So even Rolls-Royce, the car that everyone thinks of,
I think it's owned by VW. So yeah, Jaguar owned by Ford. Rolls-Royce, I believe, is owned by Volkswagen. somebody can look that up and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's certainly not British owned anymore. But there you go. But people aren't buying Jaguars because... Anyway, let's not go into that.
Yes, okay,
We've got to talk about slapping, haven't we?
Yeah, well, we will be we will be talking about that in a few moments. So that's what we're doing today. We are talking about slapping. By the way, I did mention Much Wenlock. That's the place I live. We have the new, the fresh. This is, you can actually smell the print. Look at
Yes, you can.
It's beautiful.
Hot off the press.
And this is much better than last month. I don't know what happened last month. I'm very pleased to see that they've bought some new ink for their printer, because this month we can actually read what is in there, you see. You can actually see what they've printed.
Well, we did complain.
I did complain. I said, look, please get this right.
A lot of people have said, of course, that we do export a lot of good music. That is true.
So much better. I can actually read the prayer of the month.
Are you mentioned in there? Is there a special prayer for Mr. Duncan?
I could do with some blessings. Definitely.
Yes, Jimmy, we are chatting about cars again. It's very easy to, I can, whatever the subject is we're talking about, I can always bring it into cars. Lots of people have mentioned as well about the music that we have exported around the world. Lots of original music there. I'm not sure whether that's still happening. Because,
not much.
I mean, lots of these groups like Queen, David Bowie, Eurythmics, etc. These are all bands from the sort of 80s, aren't they?
Yes.
I can't think of any. But
they're also deceased, which just tend to put a stop to your career. You may have noticed this. Once you die, your career normally goes with it, unfortunately, unless, of course, people want to buy your back catalogue, in which case, good for you. Ooh.
Musicians, they don't make money anymore at all. They have to do the only way they make money now is to do a concert, because they make peanuts, virtually nothing from online streaming, because the companies that like Sony or whoever take most of the revenue for that. I was reading about musicians now. If you're a musician now and you write a song or an album, forget about selling it anywhere. Because if you put it online, you'll get nothing for it. The only way to make money now for a musician is to do live concerts.
And of course,
very poor.
For the past 2 years, that hasn't been happening. So there must be a lot of poor musicians at the moment.
There must be, which is presumably why there's no... Let's not get into that. Because I might,
You start saying things and then we get into...
Usama, yes. Well, there we go. I've got car fans on here.
Yes, of course.
Yes, I won't mention my favourite car. But anyway...
Okay, Steve. Right. You say you're not going to do it, then you carry on doing it. We're talking about a very interesting subject today, a subject that a lot of people have been discussing over the past few days. Ow! Slapping. We are getting happy with the slappy in a few moments' time. So please, whatever you do, don't go away. are back. Yes, welcome back, everyone. It is English Addict, and today is Sunday. I like to mention the day of the week. I always like to mention the day of the week for those who have just woken up because it is Sunday. Some people are just waking up in their beds.
Belarusia has just woken up.
Hello, Claudia.
Usually cooking around this time, so we normally hear some delicious. It was meat and potatoes last week, if memory serves me right.
Yes.
So a lot of people are actually late in today because they've been sleeping in because it's Sunday.
It's Sunday. A lot of people like to stay in bed. By the way, Claudia, thank you very much for the picture of your dog that has many names. We looked at that earlier on. Very nice. So today we are talking about a subject, something that is maybe a little bit topical, maybe something that is a hot topic. A hot topic.
A hot topic.
Something that people like to talk about or they are discussing during a period of time. And today we are looking at the word slap. That's why I have my extra big hand. I love this. I spent 2 hours yesterday completing this and building this. 2 hours.
That's actually my hand.
This is Mr. Steve's hand. Put your hand up the other way, like that one is. So there you can see. So this is actually Mr. Steve's hand.
Except that one looks old and knobbly. It looks like an old hand.
Trust me, the real one does as well.
If anyone can read palms, what do you make of that?
Yes. This is Steve's.
Got any palm readers watching?
This is Steve's love line, and there I think that's your lifeline, and that's your.
I think that's the lifeline that goes down there.
That's happiness.
Mine just doesn't end. Yes. There used to be a cartoon series. I wonder if anyone... Can I do this quickly? When I was growing up in the 1970s...
I know what you're going to say.
I know. There was a cartoon programme from... I think it was from Russia or somewhere like that. Somewhere in the East, as we say here in the UK, called Slip and Slap.
Norwich?
Slip and Slap.
Maybe it was made in Norwich, because that's in the East.
No, it was black and white, and it was. I've searched for it on the internet. I put Slip and Slap into the internet.
You've got many other things coming.
I got many other suggestions.
Steve's got many other photographs and things that came up when he searched for Slip and Slap.
But obviously, this is we called it Slip and Slap. When I grew up, there was a cartoon series I'm sure it was from Russia.
You've just said this.
Called Slip and... Yeah, well, I'm repeating it. If anyone knows about this, please let me know. I've got the music to it that I recorded off a tape recorder when I was very young. Anyway, that's it. Move on, Mr. Duncan.
I feel as if that's added nothing, absolutely nothing to my live stream. I will be honest with you.
Belarus is talking about a cow. Is that what you're having to eat?
Claudia, that's Claudia.
I know, but it says Belarusia.
When you say Belarusia, people think it's the country.
Well, that's Belarus.
Yes.
Yes, anyway. Okay, right.
Oh, I just got this pain in my head.
Palmyra says that once upon a time there was teachers could slap their pupils.
Yes, some of them still do. There's a guy in China. Did you see the news stories during the week about the teacher in China that slapped his student many times to the point where his face bled? Can you imagine being slapped in the face so many times that you actually bleed?
And what happened?
Well, as you can probably imagine, the teacher lost their job. Beating up your students is never a good idea. I always find this on your first day of teaching. It's normally one of the pieces of advice that you're given. Don't beat up your students. It never ends well.
Corporal punishment. That used to be the mainstay of discipline in schools, being caned or a teacher whacking you across your hand if you'd been bad, or bending you over and caning you on your bottom. I did get caned once. Did you ever get caned?
I
Mr.
did.
Duncan?
I did once get slapped.
Something naughty.
I got slapped by the head teacher at infant school for well, they said that I broke a tree, but I didn't break it. I was falsely accused. Can you believe it? It was a miscarriage of justice at infant school, and I was slapped for it, and I didn't actually do the thing. So that's how I started off in life when I was about 6 years old. Yeah, so this is it. You see, all the scars that I have to carry with me. Anyway, Steve, here we go.
Yes, Bruno. Today the students slap and insult the teachers.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's it.
That is true.
I think they do more than that. I think they stab the teachers.
And the parents stand up for them.
Yes.
Whereas in the old days, if you'd been naughty at school and your parents found out about it, you get another thump or you from your parents. But now the parents go up to the school and demand to see the teacher and say, "Why did you shout at my child?" Blah, blah. Anyway, right.
Oh,
Word to
Steve.
do with slap.
Yes, it's great, this. I'm so glad I tuned in. Here we go then. Yes, today's subject is the word slap. Ow! And here we go. We have some lovely words. We have some ways of expressing slap.
We've had some already on the live stream.
I have my big slap hand there, just in case Mr. Steve misbehaves. So here we go. We're getting straight into it now, Steve. No dilly-dallying. Slap. So the meaning of slap is to strike a person using the open flat surface of one's hand. So that is it. You tend to slap someone with the flat surface, quite often the palm.
You're giving us instructions, Mr. Duncan, on
Yes.
how to slap somebody.
Well, I don't think you need me to teach you, because...
You could do a backhand slap.
Yes, okay, Steve.
And if you've got a ring on, that'll cause problems. In fact, in an episode of Columbo, that's how one of them was caught, because he slapped the woman who fell over and hit her head on a marble and piece of rock and died. But the way the ring made a mark in her face, and that's how he was found out to be guilty.
Ooh,
But anyway, yes, backhand with a ring.
that was so succinct, the way you explained that.
I think people understand.
For example, Steve, she slapped him in the face. So a lady might slap a man if he's being inappropriate. I always think that slapping is something that a woman does. Men don't slap.
Well, that's what was so
That's the other-
girly about.
Men don't slap.
Yeah,
Men, oh, I'm going to slap you.
I know. Will Smith, he slapped.
Slap?
Was the bloke's name Rock or something? Who was the other chap? Who was the one he slapped? What was his name? The Rock, was it?
Not the rock.
Something Rock. I don't know. I don't know any of these celebrities. Yeah, I mean, slapping. If he punched him,
Oh,
that's a manly thing to do, isn't it?
No.
Men don't slap
no.
other men.
No, it
It was
wasn't
a hard slap, I must
Steve.
admit.
Steve, it wasn't The Rock. It was Chris Rock.
Chris Rock. I knew Rock was in there somewhere.
Yeah, but they're very different things.
Yes, exactly. What's the difference, says Mohammed, between an Englishman and a British person?
I haven't got time to explain all that.
Yes, an Englishman is somebody just from England.
An English person is an English person
Just
from
from
England.
England.
A British person is someone who comes from Britain.
Which includes Scotland and Wales.
Yes, a Northern Ireland. Or no, I don't think it does. That's the problem. It confuses us. If you
Yes.
think you're confused, we're confused as well. Was there any need to slap me? So uses of the word slap. Please let me do this, Steve,
Go on.
because I spent all morning preparing this. I used to get slapped as a child. And this is not
Did you?
just... This is not just here. It's real. I used to get slapped as a child.
We all did.
Yes.
But
So-
was it your parents?
Well, I would imagine. What?
I'm joking.
I don't understand then what that means. Who were you saying was slapping me then?
Well, I don't know. I was asking you.
Oh.
I don't know.
I don't know. don't understand. He enjoys being slapped on the bum.
Controversial?
It's not controversial.
Well, we know Tomek likes that, so
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it does. It is out there. Yeah.
Yes, a lot of people enjoy. A lot of people enjoy being slapped on the bum. So it is a thing that some people pay good money. You can pay a lot of money, go down to London, and you will find someone who will be willing to slap your bum.
How much will you have to pay for that?
I don't know.
Probably, £100 maybe.
Does anyone know?
I'm sure there are, S&M places where you can have to pay to get this done. Not that I would know anything about that.
If you were in the next room, you might see that there was a slapping sound coming from the bedroom. A slapping sound. So we are talking sort of...
It didn't take long for you to take
No.
the...
It could be anything, though.
Yes.
It could be some applause. Maybe people are watching a good TV show and they're applauding in the bedroom. So maybe that sound is people applauding. They are.
People applaud in bedrooms, do they?
They do, especially if you perform well. You might get a standing ovation. To do something harshly as punishment can also be slap. He was slapped with a parking fine. So you can suddenly be punished for something. You can be slapped for something. You receive something, a punishment harshly. He was slapped with a parking fine.
Yeah.
He did something wrong and he was slapped with that punishment. The court slapped an injunction on me. By that they mean they banned me or prevented me from doing something. So when we say injunction, it is something in legal terms that means to be banned. You are stopped from doing something.
By using the word slapped in a sentence like that, slapped me with a fine, it means it's quite harsh,
Yes.
painful. The suggestion is that what's happened is painful. So that fine slapped me with a heavy fine. Adding the word slapped in there gives it more meaning, gives it more sort of, what's the word I'm looking for, Mr. Duncan?
Well, harshness.
Yes, it sort of gives an impression of the level of harshness that is implied by whatever it is that you're doing, like giving somebody a fine.
Yes. Next one. They are willing to slap you with a ban or slap a ban on you. So again, you are being harshly punished for doing something. Here's a good one, Steve. Slap up meal. You might have a slap up meal. Slap up meal. A lavish meal consisting of large portions of delicious food. So we will often describe a big meal with lots of lovely food as a slap-up meal.
Claudia will be making a slap-up meal for her family later today. A big cow in the oven is what we seem to think is happening.
Oh, a big cow. I would like to see the size of your oven.
Well, that's what somebody commented on. But
We went out for a slap-up meal. We went out for a slap-up meal.
yeah,
So we went out and we had a big meal, maybe an expensive meal, a meal that was lavish.
yeah.
The first prize is a slap-up meal for two. So maybe the prize will be a free meal at a nice place where you can go and sample some food. He treated me to a slap-up meal at the Ritz. Very nice, very fancy.
Yes. It just suggests that the meal is, as you say, quite expensive.
Lavish.
And quite lavish.
Yes.
Lots to it.
Lots of
Probably in a nice restaurant somewhere.
Lots of delicious food
Yes.
at your meal. When you go for your afternoon tea or maybe you go for your evening dinner at the Ritz. To slap on. So this is quite often used as a verb. Slap on. To hurriedly apply something to a surface. You slap on something. You slap on something. One thing you slap on to something else.
Paint, for example.
She slaps on some makeup before going out. So she did it very quickly in a hurry because she knew she was going out in a few moments. So she put some makeup on very quickly before going out. She slapped on.
You can also say to put on some slap.
Yes.
Which means to put on makeup. So that can be used in a different way as well.
Well, that's a noun. So, if you put on some slap, that is being used as a noun.
Yeah.
In this case, it's being used as verbally, to slap on.
I'm just showing the two different ways.
Yes.
Yes, if you slap on some paint, you can do that if you're decorating. I'm going to slap on some paint, but it gives the impression that you're not going to be very careful in the way that you're doing it. Just as in your example there, putting on the makeup, just not really putting that much effort in, just sort of making it look good, bit better.
Yes, doing it quickly.
So if you're slapping on some paint,
yes,
it means you're just sort of you're making it look better, but not that much better.
As Steve just said, he slapped the paint on as there was little time left. He slapped the paint on.
Do we need the sound effect, Mr. Duncan?
Yes, we do. We need the sound effect, definitely.
Okay.
He slapped the paint on as there was little time left. You are doing it in a hurry. She slapped the icing onto the cake before the guests arrived. So she was finishing the cake and she had to put the icing on the surface of the cake. She had to do it very quickly. To carelessly do something is to slap something on. You are doing it carelessly.
Yes.
To be slapdash. Oh, I like this one. Slapdash. This is a word we often use when we are unhappy with the quality of someone's work. So we use the word slapdash. To be slapdash about something is to be clumsy or careless over something. You are not being careful. You are doing something in a slapdash way. A poorly done job or shoddy quality can be described as slapdash. Yeah. So maybe some work that you had done, something that a person has done for you. He did a slapdash job of painting my walls. He did not take any care. He did it too fast. He was not professional in his work. He made a slapdash job of painting my walls.
People are giving us lots of suggestions. Yeah, we'll come to those later.
Your work here recently has been very slapdash. You haven't taken any care. You've done it too fast.
You're fired.
Yes.
I've warned you before. Your work is slapdash. Goodbye.
You're fired. Slap and tickle, Mr. Steve. Slap and tickle.
Trust you to come up with that one.
Well, it uses slap, so it wasn't me that came up with it. It was the Oxford English Dictionary. Blame them. Slap and tickle. To playfully kiss and cuddle. Often used as a euphemism for as well.
A little bit of slap and tickle in the afternoon.
Yes. The couple sat in the car park having a little bit of slap and tickle. It is used informally and quite often in British English we use it to mean some playful kissing and cuddling.
Sex.
And sometimes more. I wasn't sure about using this one, but then I thought, well, it's there. It's in the dictionary. It's written down in bold font in the dictionary. So yes, it has to be included. Slapper. A slapper. An offensive word for a promiscuous woman. A woman,
yes.
A woman who likes to go around and she likes to share her time with lots of different men.
Yes, if you want to be unkind to a woman, then, you could call her a slapper. Oh, you slapper.
But normally it's a reason.
Yes.
If she is promiscuous, she likes to have lots of different partners.
But even if she doesn't, if you were to say that, that would be an offensive word to suggest that they were.
Yes.
You could call somebody a slapper if you didn't like them. Or if you knew, she's a slapper, she is.
Yes.
Is there a similar word for men?
No.
You wouldn't call a man a slapper.
No, there isn't.
Yes, because it's always sort of...
For some reason, when a man does it, it's great. But when a woman does it, it's shameful.
Yeah.
By the way, that's not what I think. Before any women come round to my house to slap me, it's not what I think. But yes, it does appear to be slightly unfair and unequal. I think.
Inaki. Yes, you're correct. Slap and tickle is a euphemism for sex.
Yes,
really.
we've said that already.
I know, but I'm just
yeah, okay.
Clarifying that because you were beating around the bush.
Really? Well, I was beat.
That's another euphemism.
Yes.
Dear.
It's been a while since I beat around the bush or anywhere. She is known as a slapper around here.
Yes.
We'll get through these quickly here. She has the reputation as a bit of a slapper.
Yeah.
So maybe a person who, normally a woman, but I think maybe it is a little unfair.
There's no slappers on our live stream today.
Speak for yourself. To get a slap on the wrist.
But not literally.
No, wait there. If you just... I have all of this ready to explain, Steve. To get a slap on the wrist is to receive punishment as a warning. So you can physically get a slap on the wrist. If you're a child, if you've been naughty, the teacher or your parent will slap your wrist as punishment. But also you can use it figuratively as well. To use it figuratively, a slap on the wrist is to receive punishment. So any punishment, normally given as a warning.
Yes.
Something that is given quickly.
For example, if your work is poor, so maybe you're always too late getting your expenses in and your boss is very upset about it because it means he's got to work at times when he doesn't want to, and you keep repeatedly doing it, he'll give you a slap on the wrist by saying, right, I'm not going to do those expenses. That's it. You're not getting them this month. So it's a small punishment as a warning to try and modify your behaviour in some way.
Yes.
You can be given, it's often said, for example, if someone commits a crime, but they get off lightly, you could say, oh, they've just been given a slap on the wrist. It can be used as well the other way around, can't it? So if somebody was caught shoplifting, for example, and the punishment could be that they're sent to prison, but in fact they just get a telling off by the judge,
Yes.
you could say, oh, all they've had is a slap on the wrist.
Yes.
So-
That is to say that the punishment was seen as being lenient.
Yes.
Too lenient. It
Too
was
lenient.
not harsh. It was not harsh enough. And quite often people complain these days about people who commit crimes, but they only get very short sentences. And it would appear that they are often getting just a slap on the wrists.
Yes. So it's a warning, but people often interpret it as being not a serious enough punishment.
Here we go. Another one, to get a slap on the back. So not all words and phrases are negative. If you get a slap on the back, it is to receive warm congratulations. So you get a slap on the back. It means you are being given warm congratulations. You are being honoured. You are being honoured for your excellent work. People are saying, oh, Mr. Duncan, can I give you a slap on the back for your amazing 15 years
I was about to do that. I was going to say, congratulations, Mr. Duncan, slap on the back, 15 years as a teacher on YouTube. Yeah. And that sometimes can be a literal slap on the back, can't it?
That's it.
But if you get a slap on the back, it means congratulations for something you've done well.
Yes. So that is how we use that particular phrase.
There isn't one slap on the neck. Somebody asked, Inaki says, can you get a slap on the neck? Well, I've never heard of that one here. Might be in other countries.
Of course, if you are verbally assaulting someone, or maybe if you are physically assaulting them, you can slap someone anywhere. You can slap their face, their neck. You can slap their arm, their hand. I'm not going any lower before we get into trouble.
A slap on the wrist is a phrase used to describe somebody who gets a punishment, but it's not really, the punishment probably doesn't match the crime. It's probably too lenient.
Yes, well, that's only when it's used negatively, but it is just generally punishment that's given out as a warning.
That's right.
Here we go. Next one. To receive a slap in the face. Now, again, this can be something that's done physically or figuratively. So this can be a figure of speech, a phrase, to mean to be insulted or put down, something that, you feel. So you are not being slapped in the face, but it feels like it. It's a painful thing that's happened to you.
Yes, you might have worked hard all year, and then your boss at your appraisal says to you, I'm going to give you a 1% pay rise. And you might be insulted by that. But all the hard work I've done all year, that feels like a slap in the face. You know, I've done all this work and all I get is 1%. That's a slap in the face, that is. You're really upset because you in some way, you've been insulted by that, just an insult, 1% pay rise.
Yes, you feel insulted by it.
Would be an example of where you would use that phrase.
So that is a good way of using that as an expression. She did not get the job offer, which must be a bit of a slap in the face for her.
Yeah, there we go. So she'd worked hard, applied for this new position. Other people applied maybe as well, but she felt as though she'd done the best job, done the most work, but she didn't get it. So it felt like a slap in the face because probably people had been encouraging her. Her boss might have been encouraging her. We get this a lot at work when you get people who are being promoted internally, and then people who come from another company and they're given the job that you want. So you might have worked hard in that company for ages, and then they recruit somebody from another company outside the company. You might think that's a slap in the face, all the hard work I've done.
Yes. To be shunned or to be rejected can be a slap in the face. To slap can be described as spank if the slapping is being done on the buttocks, or as Forrest Gump says, the buttocks. I don't know why he says it like that.
It's American.
It's very weird, but yes, on the buttocks. So if you slap someone on their bottom, we call it spank. Spank.
Again, you can be paid for this.
You can get paid a lot of money for spanking someone.
Or rather, you've got to pay to have it done to you. There are people that sort of like this sort of thing.
Yes, well, that's how I understand it. To slap can be described as spank if the slapping is being done on the buttocks.
Well, your parents, I mean, again, they don't do that now because you can't. It's called child abuse. But, your parents would spank you. I'm going to spank you on the bottom. You're being a naughty boy or a girl. You'll get a spank if you carry on behaving in that way. But now if you say to somebody who's been at work, you've been naughty, I'll give you a spank. Now it's, really? Oh, yes.
What?
It's all sort of, it's used now to sort of, in almost a friendly way, isn't it? Because it's not, you're not meaning you're going to do it deliberately. If somebody says to you, Stop being so naughty. I'll give you a spank. Your reaction these days, if you're an adult, would be, oh, chance would be a fine thing. Oh, I didn't know you were into that. That's true.
What goes on in your company?
I think it's just generally.
I'm starting to...
Well, spanking is associated with sort of, let's just say sort of, what's the phrase I'm looking for?
I have no idea.
Well, in the area of, sexual relations,
Oh, for God's sake.
spanking is seen as...
You're
as,
obsessed.
I'm not obsessed. I'm just trying to explain. You've put the word up there, Mr. Duncan. It's, let's just say, a sort of a fetish almost, isn't it?
What happens on your Zoom calls? No wonder you keep the door closed.
Nothing to do with work. That's just,
Anyway,
spanking is associated with sort of fetish behaviour.
just being
isn't it?
naughty.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it at that, shall we? A mother might spank her naughty child. Did your mother ever spank you?
No, she didn't. My father did.
Oh, okay.
For falling into the rose bushes.
Okay.
Um,
But didn't you
but,
didn't you break his greenhouse once?
yes, and again for the greenhouse.
Did he
yes.
spank you for that?
Oh, definitely.
I'm
I was
starting
sent
to
to my room.
I'm starting to think that Steve did this on purpose, just so his father would spank him. This explains a lot.
I'm not into that. But yes, I mean, our parents, I presume, can't do that anymore because if a neighbour, I would think now, I think it's serious. Now, you can't spank your children anymore. I don't think that's allowed. But it's strange, actually, isn't it? Because they say that a lot of people who hit their child or spank their children, who are parents, would say that it doesn't have any lasting effects.
It gives you a red bum.
But you do remember it. See, I remember it. You see, when I was a child, these are my earliest memories, being spanked by my father
Yes.
for, damaging his rose bushes or breaking a pane of glass in his greenhouse. So obviously, but I don't. It's not like it scarred me for life. But
No.
it just shows you do remember these because it's been quite traumatic at the time for me, I would imagine.
Steve has many, many deeper and darker things to scar himself with. That is nothing. But I can't imagine your mum spanking you.
No, my mother never laid a finger on me.
My mum did. My mum slapped me
I can imagine your mum, yeah.
now and again.
Did she burn you with cigarette ends?
No, she never did that.
Right. Yeah, anyway.
Okay.
Whatever you do, behind closed doors is your own affair. No matter how disgusting it is.
Yes.
Oh, dear.
A mother or a father, of course. Let's not be sexist. Fathers can also spank their child as well. You will find that the spanking will be much harder and more ferocious. So this explains why Mr. Steve's bottom is always red when he sits down. Here we go. Here's another one. We are going in 7 minutes. Synonyms of slap. Who would have thought that there would be so many words and phrases? Synonyms of slap include smack, 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 wallop.
If you wallop somebody, you're hitting them with your hand. You're giving them a very hard slap, I would say.
Yes.
Smack, bang, wallop.
Yes. So wallop is another one. You wallop someone. You strike them or you slap them. You wallop them. What about whack? Don't you say anything about it.
I'm saying nothing.
Can everyone just
Moving on.
clear their minds of anything they want to say?
I'm going to whack you in a minute.
Whack.
If you carry on behaving like that, I'm going to give you a whack.
The headmaster often whacked. Have to be
Are
careful.
you sure you want to end these sentences, Mr. Duncan?
He used to whack his students in his office. The next one's blow.
The Catholic priest used to...
The next one is blow.
Oh, yes, give somebody a blow, yes.
Yes, you blow them.
Yeah.
Give them a blow.
That means a fist,
Yes.
doesn't it?
Oh,
really?
it can be striking with anything.
Yes.
You can blow, inflict a blow.
Yes, Vittoria, a smack is a strong kiss.
Yes.
As well, if you smack somebody on the lips,
Yes.
it means you're giving them a very strong kiss.
Yeah.
Yes, that is true. Thank
Shall
you,
I demonstrate
Victoria.
it on the top of your head?
Yes, it would normally you'd normally have a loud noise. Well, let's just do it on the back of your hand.
No, do it on the top of your head. Put your head down.
Hold on then. That's a smacker.
Ugh.
That's probably...
What the hell have you done?
It's probably weed killer.
It's something.
Because I've been spraying around the garden, so some of it's gone on my
It
head.
smells disgusting.
Yeah, so then you would create that. You would have to have that sound. If it was a smacker, you would have to have that sound as you were doing it. So you have to be the sound along with the kiss. God, we are really getting into things I didn't think we were going to get into today, Mr. Duncan.
Yes, this is it. So you can have smack, wallop, whack, blow, clout, leather. You leather someone. My Auntie Doreen, who technically wasn't my auntie, but we used to sometimes go and stay with my Auntie Doreen, and she was quite violent and quite always threatening to leather us. If you don't calm down, if you don't settle down, I'm going to leather you.
Of course, whips are made of leather,
Yeah.
so that's what that refers to.
Yes.
Giving you a nasty strike with a whip made of leather.
Yeah. So you leather someone. You are using that as a verb to say that you are smacking someone. You are punishing them.
And you can, if you clout someone, it means you give them a bit of a hit.
Yes.
I'll clout you. If you don't behave, I'm going to give you a clout.
Clout.
Same way as I'm going to give you a wallop.
And of course, our old friend, Mr. Spank.
We've had that one already.
Yes, but I'm just...
Oh,
this
right,
is
yeah.
just the list of synonyms.
Yes.
Oh, my God. Fortunately, Steve is not here tomorrow. It's just me. The word slap, by the way, do you want to know why we have the word slap?
No.
The word slap is imitative. The word mimics the actual sound. So that the sound of the word slap is basically the sound that you make when
Shall
you...
we demonstrate? Do I
Yeah.
slap the top of my head then?
Well, I
no,
can.
no, we know what the sound
Well, I
is.
can do it now.
If
look.
Mr. Duncan was to... I'll do it to myself.
Yes. Well, we don't need to. Steve, just calm down like this. Ow! That's it.
What's the ow noise? That's not the sound of a slap.
Well, that's that's the slapping sound and the person going ow.
Oh, right, okay.
What? Have you...
Well, I can't really see it here.
Clearly, Mr. Steve has never been slapped,
No.
ever in his life.
I've never been kissed either. Or either.
Okay. Fascinating. So that's it. That is everything. That is all you need to know about slapping.
We've got one more from Jimmy. Jimmy from Hong Kong.
Okay.
Slapstick comedy.
Oh, yes.
Thank you for that, Jimmy.
But do you know why?
Yeah.
Why is it called slapstick? Because to make the sound of someone slapping, there was a piece of equipment with two pieces of wood, and they would move it like that, Steve. They would move it like that. And the two pieces of wood would slap together. And that is a slapstick. A slapstick is a thing that makes the sound of the...
It's sort of physical comedy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Slapstick.
So when a custard pie goes into someone's face, they would go with their slapstick. And that's why we say slapstick.
Slapstick comedy. Custard pies, people falling over... Laurel and Hardy. That was very slapstick comedy. Wasn't it?
Very. And also the
you
House
would
of
say.
Commons as well. The House of Commons in London.
Yes.
There's a lot of slapstick going on
and
there.
comedy. Yes.
Hello.
As opposed to something like stand-up comedy, where you're just, a stand-up comedian is just standing there telling jokes. Slapstick is lots of physical things going on.
Yeah, it's normally messy.
Yes.
Messy. people falling over, getting
So
wet.
thanks for that, Jimmy.
Yes, thank you very much. And that is it. We are going on time. I can't believe it. With 1 minute left, we're going on time. Steve, we're going on time.
Are we?
We're leaving now.
Well, I feel like staying on.
Oh, well, guess what? I don't, because I'm here tomorrow.
Oh, yes, of course.
I
You've
am
got a
here-
busy week.
I'm here tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Friday as well.
Yeah, I'm here every weekday and also Sunday during April.
I hope you're all ready for this.
25 live streams during the month of April. So I am back with you tomorrow.
Same time.
2 p.m. Yes, it's always 2 p.m.
Just checking, you know.
Whatever it is, whatever I'm doing, it is always 2 p.m. UK time is when I'm back with you.
Pedro was here, by the way.
Okay.
But you normally go, don't you? There's a certain rhyme way you say it normally.
I go, Pedro Belmont is here today.
Well, it's great being here, Mr. Duncan.
It was great, I think. I'm not sure. I will watch the replay later and then I will decide whether I delete this or keep it forever.
We've done a bit of slapstick comedy today, haven't we?
Have we?
I think so.
I don't recall.
Right, I'm going to have some pieces of bread because I feel a bit hungry.
Fantastic.
And I'll look forward to seeing you all next week. Have fun with Mr. Duncan this week. You never know, I might make a surprise appearance.
Well, he won't, by the way.
I might.
He won't.
Oh, it's difficult because I'm technically supposed to be at work
Well, that's the reason why.
during 2 to 3 p.m. UK time. So if I did appear, my boss might say, what's he doing there? Not working. I might get a slap on the wrist for being naughty at work.
Okay,
Bye, everyone.
It's taken you nearly 4 minutes to say goodbye.
See you next week.
See you next week, Steve. Bye. And that is almost that for today. It's almost time to go. It's almost time to say goodbye. It's almost time to wave. Farewell. That moment is coming. Thank you very much for your company. I hope you've enjoyed everything we've talked about today. A very busy one, in fact. I have to say, we've done a lot today. We've talked about all sorts of things. Old computer software, for example, slapping. We've talked about car industries. We've talked about manufacturing in England, even though we can't think of anything that's made in this country. It's been interesting. I hope you've enjoyed this. See you tomorrow. Yes, I am back with you tomorrow from 2 p.m. UK time. I can't believe I'm here again tomorrow, doing it once more. See you tomorrow if you can make it. This is Mr. Duncan saying thanks for watching. See you very soon, in fact. And until the next time we meet here, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Take care. Keep that smile upon your face as you walk amongst the human race. And of course, you know what's coming next. Ta-ta for now.